Good morning, Red Mountain. We are back on the podcast with Coach Enders today, talking a little bit about his experience as a coach and his path to becoming a coach. So, you want to say hello?
Hey, how you guys doing?
You want me to talk as well?
Yes, you're on the podcast. You have a microphone in front of you.
I'm Coach Kelly as well over here on the podcast. So I run the podcast. So it's good to see Tyler over there. Hi, Tyler. Can you say hi too?
Well, he doesn't have a microphone.
Coach Enders, thanks for joining us today too, by the way.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm excited to be here on this first time on a podcast.
Yeah. So let's just jump straight into it. And can you talk a little bit about your path to becoming a Red Mountain coach?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was always like a dream of mine. Like I knew I was going to coach. I always liked growing up playing sports, playing multiple sports here at the school. After I stopped playing, Coach Jones actually reached out to me and asked if I wanted to coach. And that was when I kind of got like the idea of like, well, if I can't do it anymore, I like being around it. At the time, I was working at a sports camp and doing just different activities. We kind of rotate sports over at Fremont Junior High. That's when I really started realizing, like, hey, maybe I want to switch my major here in college and get into education if that's the opportunity or route that I need to go to be able to coach. And then, yeah, that was at 20. So about 20 years old, that's when I started coaching. I started at the junior high and did that for 2 years, and then I've been here at Red Mountain since.
So Fremont was your first coaching experience?
Correct. Yeah.
So what did you coach there?
I coached football there, and I actually started even when I was I started out running their flag football team during the off season. I did that. And then I was running that sports camps in the summer, which was all different kind of sports. You kind of rotate what you were doing, whether it was basketball, baseball, football. And then I started coaching the freshman football team there for a few years. Okay.
So what was it like coming onto the coaching team for Red Mountain? Like what was your first experiences there?
Yeah, no, it was an awesome experience. We had, had a lot of changes in our program at that time. I didn't really know a lot of the coaches, but coming in and there was a lot of knowledge and I learned real quick. There was a lot that I need to learn, but it's one of those things when it's your passion, I'm a little obsessive over it, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Like it's one of those people are like, man, you're just constantly, I don't look at it as like work. It's kind of an addiction.
Yeah.
Just trying to learn the game and it's always evolving. So it was really quickly, once I got in and got around the coach's office and around those coaches, there was a lot of knowledge and just asking questions and piggybacking off guys and got comfortable to a point where I could suggest things. And then, just every year I learned a little bit more and more and got a bigger role.
Yeah, so it being your first year, the head coach, correct?
Correct.
So how long before that were you coaching with Red Mountain football?
I think 10 years.
10 years?
I was 10 years in, yeah.
So you kind of worked around, and when was it that you got offered the head coach position?
I think it was like, I don't know, February of this year maybe it was.
So
sometime at the beginning of this year. I think it was in early February.
Well, was that like a big shocker to you, or were you expecting it?
No, it was a shock to me. I mean, it was something that, people have tossed around the idea of like, just outsiders not really here at the school. Like, hey, would you, you should apply for this job or that job. And, that's the next step. And I just really wasn't sure if I was very happy with the situation that I was in. I liked the guys I was working with. I like working with Coach Peterson. And it was one of those things, and I'm really loyal to Red Mountain. Like, this is where I wanted to be. So I wasn't one of those things I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. But when the opportunity came about of, like, being able to jump into this spot, I couldn't pass it up.
Okay. And so it was never your consideration to leave Red Mountain.
No.
You always wanted to stay with Red Mountain.
Yeah, I was never looked elsewhere.
Okay. And what are some of the teachers or some of the coaches that inspired you to be like kind of where you are right now?
It started out with just Coach Jones, to be honest with you. He was the head man when I was here. And just, Coach Kelly was here as a coach. Mr. Grantham was a coach here. A lot of guys, not one in particular, it was just a group of like great men that kind of helped me, mold me into loving the game and just being a good young man, and got me, they were all educators too. So kind of that's something that I wanted to do, I kind of reached out to some of them. Coach Fisher, who's, he's the principal now at Stapley, all those guys. Coach Marquez, Coach Weinberg, who's over at Fremont. He was my freshman coach. He's the one that I started coaching with first when I was at Fremont. All those guys were a major inspiration. Pretty much every coach that I've had throughout my years just playing. And my experience that I had here really was great. I mean, that was one of the things that, really made me want to be a role model like they were for me, for others.
And do you think, like, if it wasn't for that one coach, like that one name in particular, like it could have changed everything? Do you have a name in mind?
Not really. No, I mean, I think it was just how well the experience was for me. And I always kind of try to take a step back and think about my days when I was playing here. And, it wasn't a matter of, it was awesome to win football games. We never won a state championship. I wasn't part of those. But, like, the experience itself, like building the friendships and the bonds and all the hard work we went through and all the memories that we made, I kind of always try to remember that being in the role that I'm in now, that I can't just focus on, just the wins and losses. I focus on that experience, going to California for a football camp this year, turning around a month later on Thursday, we're leaving to play a California game. All those kind of things, you'll never forget those experiences. And yeah, so it really wasn't one coach in particular. It was a great school and a great program here. I just had an awesome experience, and even in my junior high setting. So the 4 years of high school football was really good to me.
Yep. Are you ready to take on this next season, even this next chapter of your life?
Oh yeah, super excited. We're ready. Got some new coaches that are on staff, and we've kind of really bonded since spring football. The last 6 months, we've grown to know each other really well, and they're really good people. That was one of the things when I was bringing guys in. It wasn't as much football knowledge. I mean, they're all knowledgeable. There's tons of people out there. They're just good, genuine people. They're people that I enjoy being around. They're about the kids, and that's really what it is. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, we get a crack at another team on Friday, so it's right around the corner.
Yep. Well, it sounds like you're a little bit excited for this next season. But I think that kind of wraps up all of our questions. And thank you for coming on the podcast and
I
just
appreciate
talking
you
with
having
us.
me.
We're done.
Cool.
All right. Thank you.